What's up, guys? It's your boy Smalls back on the vault from Thoughts from the Bench, a weekly show that takes a look back at some of the best and worst jerseys in sports. Buddy, Benny Buckets, my co-host. How's it going, man?
I'm here, brother, and I know I say how excited I am every week. I'm honestly just on like a really good vibe right now, and I am really pumped for what we have coming, buddy. How are you doing?
Dude, not bad. I'm feeling pretty good today. Work's been slowing down a little bit. Football is coming back, so I got a little more juice.
Everything's on the up and up. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, all I've been doing is reading Penn State football articles and watching videos on Steelers training camp, and I just cannot be more stoked right now. Like, it's just that there's something in the air, you know?
Hey, real quick tidbit, though, and I don't mean to get us off on the wrong foot. Tomlin announced today that Rudolph is going to start the Hall of Fame game. How do you feel about that?
I was not a believer in Haskins. Whenever we signed him, I'm like, all right, this guy's, he's going to be a practice squad guy, right? I'm kind of on the Haskins bandwagon right now. I don't know. Like, I feel pretty good about
I like Haskins because, to me, he is kind of like another Ben. He's big, he's stocky, but he can extend the play and he can throw the ball. And he's been getting into a lot of off-the-field trouble just like young Ben did. So, to me, this literally is the reincarnation of Ben. Just, he's from a different background, I believe. But other than that, to me, this is a younger Ben at this point. So, even personality, they're at titty bars getting teeth knocked out and things like that. So good for them. And I gotta be honest, I hate Mason Rudolph. I can't. It's even just like his face. Like, it was like if it wasn't the Browns, I was kind of rooting for the helmet. I don't know. Like, I just and I'm not sold on him. You played in the weak ass Big 12, and then you got some clout. You came to the Steelers, and you have not done very well. And people are like, "Well, you didn't give him a chance." We gave him a whole season,
plenty
buddy.
of chances.
And you lose your spot to Duck Hodges, friend of the company. Love you, Duck. But Duck even said he wasn't even ready, and he ended up taking Mason's spot when he was supposed to be like next man up. So I don't know, but I am super stoked the football's back.
Yep.
And hopefully, Rudolph ends up getting sat and we bring back, I don't know, I'd rather have Bubby Brister at this point.
Oh, wait.
I'm trying to set the tone, but I'm just saying, I would rather have maybe somebody like that back.
Football. Obviously, like, when I came onto the bench, like, I was a college football guy, and I feel like I still kind of
the
am.
guy.
And,
100%.
And like, dude, there's nothing quite like reading about how well Penn State is recruiting right now. We have the number one class in the nation, above Alabama and Ohio State for 2022 or 3, I forget which year. And I love reading that and knowing that my heart's going to be broken, but I don't care. They're just going to rip my heart out as usual. You know what? I'm ready for it because it's football,
Hey, but you see, Smalls, this is what is kind of beautiful about being a Pitt fan. You never have expectations that won't be met because your hopes are never high. We're a very go-get-'em sport type fan base, like, we're like, hey man, do the best you can do. If not, we expect you to be 500. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those things where there's a lot less ambition, whereas Penn State, you have a long history of being good, so when you're bad, it's extra bad. But hey, as long as you get Clifford the fuck out from under center, I think you guys will be straight,
which won't happen this year. He's number one. And the thing is, Clifford has those like flashes of him being good. He does.
Yeah, but you'd be better off having Ricky Slick Carter under center. I think he has a history of stepping in for programs that need help and doing a good job, and so I think I think just really, I'll be honest, anybody other than Clifford. Maybe bring back Matt McGloin, and you guys might be better off. So.
I wanna believe in him. Like even last year, dude, he was just so bad. He was so bad. But then I remember,
Nice kid.
yeah,
Nice kid.
yeah, and
But-
he great leader by all accounts. Like he's a good kid. But he just didn't have it up here. And part of it, I think COVID did. I'm not making an excuse. I think COVID did kind of play a part in that season last year because we had 3 head coaches that didn't have spring practices on the offensive side of the ball, and that hurt a lot. But at the same time, he lost his head, and yeah, I just don't think he's it. I really want them to give Taquan Roberson a look, but I'm not gonna. This isn't Penn State football, show, so I'm not gonna, go down.
It's not, because if it was, we'd be talking a lot more about Daryl Clark.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
I'm just keeping the wheels greased, Smalls.
There we go. But yeah, man. Hey, let's get into it. We have a very special episode, Benny. We made it to 30 episodes. I didn't think we would get this far.
Claps around for the boys. We didn't get canned yet, and this is good. And I feel like we keep getting better. So be a friend, tell a friend, get us out there. Hey, if we made it 30 episodes, there's got to be one that you can find to enjoy. So I mean, and recently I feel like we've really been on a hot streak. So please spread the word on YouTube and Facebook. Get us out there, subscribe, be a fan, and help us out, man. Enjoy yourself.
Yep. Hit that subscribe button. Also, shout out Hippie at Heart. Shout out Brandon, Hippie at Heart. Hook me up.
Shout out.
Dude, this is pretty flame right here. Like, this is fire.
That was, and when I saw the post of it on the company page, I was like, because I looked at his website and I was like, that was the number one that I would have wanted to get. That's awesome.
He threw in some of these bracelets too. Big booty. I don't know, just a rant.
Nice.
It just kind of fits Brandon. I don't know. But
hey, bitches love sushi, so
yeah, bitches love sushi. But yeah, 30 episodes. Let's get into it. Before we do, well, first of all, Benny, actually, I know this is a long intro, but I'm calling you out right now. You still haven't gotten the liquor that I told you to get.
God damn it. Okay, well, to be fair, you put it off for a long period of time, so now I have matched you, so I need to next week. At that point, there's no excuses. I gotta admit, it is a little hard to find. We're not going to reveal what it is until I bring it, but it's been a little harder to come by than I thought. Like the specificity of, I'm already giving away too much, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
But it will happen soon.
Yep. So speaking of that, what are you drinking tonight?
I still got some leftover Millies that I had. I got that 30 pack for when Derek put out that challenge, and really it was gifted to me. So, just a little something light to fizzle the chest. What about you, buddy?
So I got, this might knock me on my ass. I got Double Dubious Hazy Double IPA from Bad Sons Beer Company. Somewhere in Connecticut, Derby, Connecticut. I don't know. Kind of
Derby.
Kind of a cool looking can. I don't know. 8.4% alcohol though. So.
Attaboy.
Yep. So. Wanted to at least give those guys a shout out. But before we get into it, Benny, you want to shoot from the hip and give us our ad read?
Okay, so as always, you guys know the drill. We have our lovely sponsor of Marshall Fitness, Will, who was just on recently. Go back, check out that episode. Will has been on twice now, and as you can tell, he's a swell friggin' guy. I mean, he's just a great dude, which also means that you should be able to tell that he's great to work with. He's going to be an awesome partner for you and an awesome trainer. He's going to use the MyFitnessPal app that you can use on your phone and track while he's not physically with you to keep track of your dietary habits and your workout schedule, and he will work with your needs. He's not going to just tailor to what he thinks is best for you. You tell him what your goals are, and he's going to custom make you a program that, and then before you know it, you're going to be shredded as hell like Larry the Lobster in Bikini Bottom, okay? And I'm not talking about benching up some stuffed animals. You're going to be putting up weights, or you're going to be shredded in your core. Whatever your goals are, will find a way to meet them. Check out Will Marshall on Facebook and Instagram, and also go to marshallfitness.shop if you want some sick gear. But Will, friend of the show, he's the guy to go to if you want to get back in shape, and the perfect time to start's right now.
Hell yeah, it is. All right. So, Benny, we have a very special episode. This one, I don't think we've really talked about that much, but I threw it out there this week.
We should have.
We should have. It's not like something, because some of the other things, like the Bencher edition, or like there have been some other topics that we've done that you and I had talked about, like when we first started coming up with ideas, and this was one of those ideas, but we haven't really talked about it until I threw it out there this week. To put it on the show was very spur of the moment, but this is something that has 10 years of history, literally 10 years. And for those of you that don't understand, as Smalls put the tweet in here that dudes can talk about random athletes and have the best time ever. That is the truest thing in the world. And the reason that I'm saying it has 10 years of history is because Smalls and I, specifically us two, joined by about like 6 or 7 other guys when we were playing high school soccer together, like my freshman year. We would just sit around and name guys who like people forget about that were in the league, and it was either the funniest or the most like lovely nostalgic thing we could think of. Like it was like, oh my god, I do remember that guy, he was dope, or like that's the goofiest guy I've ever heard of on that team. Like this is something that we used to do at practice in between drills or on the bus to games. Like this was us just shooting the shit. And I feel like if we're going to talk about the vault, sure, the jerseys might not be, the cream of the crop here, but this is going way back in time and way back in our memories and bringing up the nostalgia of guys who used to have some spotlight that don't. We wish they still did. Yep. And I want to correct one thing you said. We didn't say anything else because the interactions would be us standing around in a circle or in line at a drill or whatever it was. And all we would say is the players' names.
One guy's name. And I don't even want to say any because of what we have moving forward. But just, I'll waste one, okay, that I feel like probably isn't like super known. But say like if I just yelled out, like we'd be in drills side by side and I go, Dan Kreider, old fullback from the Steelers. You know what I mean? And like we would just laugh our asses off and try and come back and top that with like the most random other athlete.
Yeah, no, and like you said, there were probably like 9 or 10 of us that would just it was the thing to do, and it's a universal thing. So it wasn't just us.
A universal guy thing.
Yeah.
Like typically, like girls, even girls who like sports don't really get that. Like they're like, why would you bring up that person? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's fun though. I don't know how to describe it, but it's fun.
Yeah, and like, what other way to put that on display than like having a beer and shooting the shit? Like we're just cutting it up.
We're not Cheers and Gatorades this time. We have beer now because we're adults. So well, kind of.
But no, man. So literally, random players. It can be anything. Sometimes it's just the name is funny. Sometimes it's a player that was a big deal and we all just forgot about them. Sometimes they were a fucking horrendous player. It doesn't matter. It's just the name. That's the thing. And we'll touch on the jerseys a little bit too, but like a little bit, but it's just the name that just brings memories back, whether it's good, funny, bad, whatever it is. And that's what we mean when we say random players. Like it's just guys being dudes shooting the shit.
There's no better word. It's literally just random. Like above all other description that you could give it, it's just the most random players.
And like you said, this is the most true tweet of all time. Like I saw this and I was like, I can't believe that, like, and part of me knew, but like I can't believe that like other people did that. That it wasn't just an us thing. Like that was so new to me, like, because I figure like that's not something that I talk about with people that I've met from other places. Like being in the military, I met people from all walks of life, but we didn't just talk about random athletes. You know what I mean? Like I thought that was like a just me and my high school friends thing.
and then turns out a shit ton of people do it.
Yeah. So this might, we're gonna warn you now. This one might get a little off the rails. Like
As it should. This is the one that there's like an excuse. Like, okay, if there was one that was gonna go nuts, this is the one.
Yep. So random players brought to you by Marshall Fitness. Ben, start us off. I don't even know who this guy is, but I love the name. So go off, King.
So, I mean, anybody whose nickname is Booby is worthy of being talked about. Okay, Daniel Booby Gibson was a bench player during the first LeBron stint in Cleveland. Okay, he was a backup point guard to Mo Williams, and I think he was like the replacement for, well, Mo Williams was a replacement for Eric Snow, and then Booby came in and was behind him. Booby has also been known to be kind of out there on social media. He posted some risque pictures of himself on Instagram like 9 years ago. Very wild character, all tatted up, but had his own type of like wild personality on the court. Like him and Delonte West were the guys who like, they were point guards with headbands that were all like, you know, just wild. Like they would say crazy stuff or do crazy like dance moves or movements on the court. And I mean, when your nickname is Booby, which I gotta admit, I do not know the origin of it. It's just, I didn't even know that his first name was Daniel until he retired. That's not a joke. I literally just knew him as, oh, that's number one, Booby Gibson, you know, and that was it. So Booby, I mean, salute to Boobs. But he was a fun guy to watch though. Like I remember he was one of those guys, never a star player, right? And kind of was Booby if we're gonna be honest. I mean, he wasn't very good. He's pretty ticked. So, but he filled in a spot, and he can always say that he got to play with LeBron. And he's one of those guys. I don't think he's doing shit now. I think he plays in like that Big 3 league that Ice Cube made or whatever. But man, I mean, just for the legacy of it, like that's a guy that I know, like me and, you know, my buddy Tim, the Smalls, you know, Tim, shout out Tim Secreto. We would always like playing basketball. We would take a shot and go Booby Gibson. And like, that was, you know, like just because he was nobody notable enough to talk about their basketball legacy. But I will always remember Booby because he was a wild character, and that's just a great nickname.
Yeah. I mean, the first thing I think of when I hear Booby Gibson is Booby Miles from Friday Night Lights, like the movie. But yeah. I don't know this guy. That's what makes some of these picks perfect, is because some people just might not know these guys.
Most of you shouldn't. Like, there's some of these guys who, like, their resume is like, you either need to be from that town or like you're just a super fan of the sport, like, to even know some of these names. But that's why it's so awesome, because I think part of the reason why this episode is great and why this topic is great just in friend groups in general is sometimes you're throwing out a name just to see if anybody even knows who you're talking about. Because when they do, the reaction you get is better than anything in the world.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. Touch on the jersey just real quick. Real quick.
These are actually one of my least favorite Cavs uniforms of all time. Like this era of like with the font in the style of the jersey, like it just, the colors now, they're the other color jersey where it was like mainly like maroon was just the worst. This white one's not so bad, but this was definitely a weak point for the Cavs and not my favorite look for them by far. Literally my least favorite Cavs look probably all time.
Yep. I do kind of like the old, like the first, like LeBron's rookie jersey. I did kind of like those.
Yeah. And they were good for their time. You know, that early 2000s, like they fit the mold. So, but these ones, they tried like going retro and new school, and it just, I don't know, man. It wasn't what they, I at least hope it wasn't what they wanted, and it wasn't what we wanted. Yeah.
All right. That's a great way to start off. A guy that I'd never heard of, but a great pick. That's the thing. All right, we'll go to my first one. Legend.
Yeah.
Legend. Deuce Staley. Steelers running back. I think he retired from playing in, I want to say 2010. Transferred over to coaching. But he was part of the Super Bowl 40 team that beat the Seahawks. And I guess by that logic, he was also on the Super Bowl 43 team. But he was
he was retired by 43.
Okay. But he was just one of those guys. Like, first of all, Deuce Staley is the most football name of all time. Period. Like Deuce, like the most football name of all time. He later went on to become a running backs coach for the Steelers. Ended up going to, I don't know if he was a coach for the Steelers. I know that he was a coach. No, it was for the Eagles that he started coaching.
Yeah, Eagles.
So, and he was he's a really good running back coach. He actually was so good that he ended up being the assistant head coach on the Eagles under Doug Peterson, and he was actually one of the favorites to be the head coach. They even have, and I just found this out, they even have a combine drill called the Deuce Staley drill because he's that good of a running back coach. So Deuce Staley is just one of those guys. It's a nostalgic pick because if you grew up in Pittsburgh, you just knew the name Deuce Staley. And he was always sitting behind Bettis, Parker. Like, he was always just behind people. But he's just, the name itself, Deuce Staley, I don't want to say it's a ridiculous name, but it's just,
it's ridiculous enough.
Yeah, it's unique enough where you fucking remember it because it's just the most football name of all time. Like, and I think in 2004 he rushed for like 830 yards in 10 games, which is pretty good. It's a good clip.
He had a couple dazzling moments, and because a lot of people looked at him as a potential Bettis type because he was a bigger, fast back. And but he played the backup role a lot, but he was kind of like the Jim Sorgi or the Mark Brunell of running backs. Like, see, I just fired out two more at you. Now I'm on a fucking roll tonight, dude. I mean, like, he was that like guy that you weren't upset that he was a backup, kind of like how we had in Charlie Batch. Like, he was that guy who he was more coach oriented. And I remember in Super Bowl 40, I felt so bad, dude. He got dressed, and I remember he didn't touch the field in Super Bowl 40. And it's actually on the recap video, on the Super Bowl video. Cowher turns to him and says, "Hey, man, I'm sorry I didn't get you a carry in the Super Bowl, but I got you a ring." Yep. And, like, that's kind of like, I don't know. You could have let him have one rush or, like, even just one snap. Even if it's a pass play, let him, check down or whatever. But Deuce was, I think, kind of beloved by Steelers Nation, but he has created quite the coaching resume for himself. So, I mean, seriously, like, I know, like, a lot of people say, like, even Deuce. I was a shitty player, but, some people are just built mentally for that, and I think maybe that's kind of where he fell in.
Yep. Yeah, he's actually in Detroit right now. Like, he is a hot commodity when it comes to coaching. I do think he will be a head coach eventually. Like,
that would be awesome.
Yeah, but like
Coach Deuce.
I mean, touching on the jersey. I mean, what else do you say? It's
classic.
It's fucking Steelers. Like, I mean,
and to me, this is. I think just because the font's different, and I know some people don't like them. I actually think that this is our best jersey.
I'm torn because I think I like the block letters more, like the old school numbers more, but this is what we grew up with, so this is what I know, so
yeah,
I don't know, the numbers, I like that they at least bring it back, like they've brought back the retro looking numbers, but I mean, Steelers jerseys, they don't deviate from it. It's tried and true classic. They don't really, outside of like the color rush look or the bumblebees, they don't really deviate from it that much, and that's the point. Like, it's the fucking Steelers. So, Benny, dude, yes, this was like, if we had, so we're gonna get to it, but if we had honorable mentions, this was for sure one of my HMs, so take it away.
Gonna be fired out. And Lastings Village, first of all, I chose this picture. He did play with quite a few teams, but this jersey, the Pinstripe Pirates one, is perfect, especially because when Lastings Village, and this is why I even bring him up. First of all, what an awesome name. Lastings Millage for a black dude. Like, if I thought of a guy named Lastings, I'm thinking some like Amish white guy, and like I get Lastings Millage. That is such a classic random guy name. But the fact that he was decent, he ended up like he got hot for 2 periods in his career with the Mets and actually with us, and then he kind of washed out. But I remember when, right before he got traded from the Mets, he did an interview, and I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. He did an interview talking about, it was like for a magazine or something. Like, it wasn't a physical article or anything, or I'm sorry, a physical interview, but it was for an article for something. And he was talking about how much he loves New York because of the street women and the casinos and the nightlife and like all this stuff. He was like, man, I can get hammed up on a Tuesday and wake up on Wednesday, go do it again, go to the ballpark, hit some dingers, and then go to the strip club after that, see some street women. He kept saying street women. And like, I remember, I'm like, dude, like, he talked about that. The next week he got traded out of New York. They traded him immediately, dude. Like, this guy, A, just being a random name, B, having a random number. Who the fuck plays baseball as number 85? And then having a name like Lastings Millage. Like, this dude, to me, I'm not talking shit on any of our other picks, but this is like the epitome of this episode.
Yeah. No, this is the topic right here. Like, the amount of times that we threw out the name Lastings Millage, because that is such a ridiculous name.
He was he was a favorite, dude. Like, he was one that we would say, even if we said it like multiple days in a row, we had to, because it got a pop every time.
Dude, well, yeah, and he was like, I mean, I think it's just hilarious that the Pirates tried to go with the pinstripe look. Like, the Pirates, they're not an organization that deserves to wear pinstripes.
Nope.
Let's just, especially when he was on the team. Like, he was on some of the bad teams. And he wasn't around that long, but like, I remember watching this guy being like, what the fuck kind of name is Lastings Millage? Like, good God, dude. But no, this is one of the picks that, like, this epitomizes this topic for sure. And like, that's we're gonna do a part 2. We have to. Like, we could do up to a part 77. I mean, like, there is so many episodes we could do, especially if we're limiting ourselves to 3 picks. Even after what we have coming up, we could do so many episodes of this. But I had to throw this one in there, especially because the reaction that you even gave me over text was enough for me to be like, yeah, I know I got one. You know what I mean? Like, your reaction to this, I was like, yes, dude, this has to be thrown in. Oh, fuck. All right, Lastings Street Women. I don't think I've ever actually heard that. That's great. The street women thing, that's fucking fantastic.
Dude. And it was, like, to me, A, it was funny that he did it in general, but B, even better that the Mets were like, all right, see you later. You know, like, that's enough New York street women for him.
All right, Lastings.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, could you imagine being the GM and calling him in here? Hey, can you get me Lastings? Okay, Mr. Millage, we gotta let you go because you keep talking about street women in magazines.
I guess he wasn't Lastings that long with those street women.
Oh my God, Smalls with the dad jokes. We're flipping the script this week, boys.
All right, go to my second pick, Rob Bolden. Ben, I don't know if you're familiar with this guy, but like,
you didn't know who Boobie Gibson was? I don't know the hell Rob Bolden.
All right, so Rob Bolden. If you've been a Penn State football fan as long as I have, you grew up, and I remember when this guy signed with Penn State, he committed to Penn State, and it was a big fucking deal. Like, he picked this over, like, Oregon, who else? Michigan State, Virginia Tech, Wisconsin. Like, he was a big deal. Like, and he came in with so much hype that he ended up being the very first ever freshman quarterback to start like the season under Joe Paterno. Paterno never fucking played anyone until their sophomore year. This was like a big deal. So like, this guy, he had a ton of hype. He came in and he had like a good first game against Youngstown State. You know, like, it's against Youngstown State, so you can't really say that much. And then second game of the year, we played Alabama, and this was right like a year or two after Saban got to Bama, and we just got smoked. He got smoked. He threw 2 picks. One of them, I think one of them was a pick 6, but like, that decimated his confidence. After that, he was fucking horrendous. he got through like 6 games or something like that, maybe even less, and he went out of a game with a concussion and lost his fucking starting position to Matt goddamn McGloin. Think about how sad that is. Think about how sad that is. Like,
hey, McGloin made it to the league.
He did, but this guy was like one of the top quarterback recruits in the country, and he got outplayed by Matt McGloin, the Moxie maniac. The guy, because every time he popped on TV, that's all fucking, the old ESPN announcer that used to do it with Herb Street. I forget his fucking name, Brent something. But he would just like the old guy. He's like the old
Musburger?
Yeah, Brent Musburger. Just he
bit women and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Brent Musburger, no joke, he had like restraining orders from women because he bit a couple of them, like random women. Like he would see a pretty woman in public and he's like, and like bit their shoulders and shit.
Dude, which quarterback was it? It was the Alabama quarterback. I forget.
McCarron, AJ McCarron.
AJ McCarron. No, it wasn't McCarron. Yeah, no, it was McCarron. His fiance,
girlfriend.
Yeah. And he just would not stop talking about how gorgeous AJ McCarron's fiance was during the game, during the broadcast. But like every time,
dude, I love him, like just so nonchalant. Like he kept going on about that, and all these women were like, "Oh yeah, he bit me before."
Dude, but that's the thing. Every time Matt McGloin would get because I think we beat Ohio State one year with Matt McGloin under center, and it was a big game. And the only thing they talked about, the only thing Musburger was saying was that he was talking about how much moxie Matt McGloin had. If that's all your starting quarterback has going for you was fucking moxie, and you lose your starting spot to that guy, that's a bad look. Matt McGloin, first of all, was a scumbag. He was a dickhead. And you lose your spot to that guy. Then Rob Bolden, his dad, he was one of those guys that had his dad like come out and make all his announcements for him. He announced that he was going to transfer. I guess Penn State wasn't going to honor a scholarship or whatever. So he stayed, right? And he played all year behind McGloin. McGloin got hurt in the fucking Ticket City Bowl, of all fucking bowls to get hurt. And like, what a ridiculous bowl. And we were playing Houston, and Bolden went in, and I got it written down here. He went 7 for 26 with 3 picks against Houston in the Ticket City Bowl. What a
he was awesome.
What a bum. Like, what a bum. And then he transferred to LSU thinking that he was going to somehow come back as like a big swinging dick in college football. Didn't do anything. Switched to wide receiver. LSU. He transferred to LSU.
Thinking he was going to play quarterback there after he couldn't even beat out Matt McGloin.
Yeah. He transferred to LSU. Was the 4th string quarterback there.
Holy shit.
Switched to being a wide receiver, and then eventually ended up at Eastern Michigan, where I don't even think he saw the field. This guy was a certified bum. A bum.
At Eastern Mich? Oh my god.
Yeah. So any of my Penn State people out there, if you know who Rob Bolden is, like, this guy was a bum, like a certified bum that thought he was hot shit and ended up just not being anything. Jersey, I don't know. Penn State has boring ass jerseys. I'm just gonna leave it there.
That's about the cap. Yep.
But yeah, fucking Rob Bolden, man. This guy was a legend for just being the biggest disappointment in program history, I think.
Yikes.
Yeah. I can't believe he transferred to LSU thinking that he was going to play after getting beat out by Matt McGloin. Like, that's tough.
Come on. You can't go to a good program with what I was assuming at the time you expect Matt McGloin and expect to start if you couldn't even beat that guy. You couldn't beat the Foxy Moxie guy or whatever the fuck. So
fucking Brent Musburger. All right, so we're gonna go to, dude. I'm before you get started, I tried to find my DC United. It was my first ever soccer jersey ever. I had a DC United Freddie Adu jersey. Couldn't find it. It's somewhere hidden in the house.
Okay, that is the vault. That's the vault.
I tried finding it. I couldn't. It's buried somewhere right now. But anyway, take it away, man.
All right. I know that soccer isn't everybody's favorite sport, but I think most people know or at least knew who Freddie Adu was. Okay. Freddie Adu at 14 years old. 14, not a year less, not a year more. At 14 years old, probably didn't even have a single pube yet. Maybe a few. Got signed to the MLS. Right, this kid was a prodigy. He got signed to DC United at 14 years old. Can you imagine? I was still trying to figure out, like, in my head, you know, like, should I have a mint before I try and kiss a girl? You know, like things like that. And Freddie Adu is going to play with professional athletes. He had, and honestly, I think he was a product of his own failed environment, that he had so much damn hype and so much pressure on his shoulders at 14 years old that it sabotaged him. Because look, Freddie Adu, technically, he's still playing today. I think in a Belgian league somewhere.
No, not anymore. He's coaching U10 soccer.
Okay. Hey, good for him.
Yep.
Good for him. Hey, good for Castle too, huh? getting a good coach in there. But Freddie Adu at 14 years old was a professional soccer player. Now you hear things like this, like Messi, right? Over in Spain, or was it Spain? Yeah, because he from
Argentina
for Barcelona.
Yeah, played for Barcelona. Yep.
So one thing that you need to understand, though, is anybody who's American will never be Lionel Messi. Okay, so the fact that they were like comparing the two because of the age and the signing and everything is ridiculous. This is a guy who never made an impact anywhere he went. He was looked at as America's greatest disappointment. But to me, how much talent can you really assess from a 14-year-old kid? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, because even if you're really good against other 14-year-olds, you're only good against other 14-year-olds. You put a child up against these grown-ass men, he's going to get his ass kicked, and he did. He didn't pan out for anything, but man, especially growing up playing soccer, we loved throwing this name out there. I mean, it was just, and it was awesome because anybody, if you piked, which is where you boot the ball over the net, right? Every time I did that, I would turn around and point at the guys, Freddie Adu. You know what I mean? Like, because that was my thing. Like, anytime I did anything disappointing in soccer, it was right back to Freddie Adu, because holy shit, dude, did this guy disappoint everybody? And I feel for him, because that's gotta hurt. I'm sure that however old he is now, that still probably weighs on his mind. But geez, dude, the amount of pressure that was on this kid, and then he was struggling to make a team like as a reserve. So it's tough look.
Yeah, no. So Freddie, he was, when we were growing up, I remember I was playing U10 soccer and I heard about Freddie Adu. Funny enough, the way I heard about him was fucking Sports Illustrated for Kids.
SI Kids, yeah, he was a big deal for them.
Yep, he was on the cover. That was, no joke, the first issue of SI Kids I ever got was him on the cover. I went out, I asked my parents to buy me a Freddie Adu DC United jersey, and like, dude, he was a fucking idol. Like, just because of how young he was supposed to be the next big thing for you. No, not only did he play in the MLS, he was on the U.S. national team at a very young age too. But he, like you said, he's a guy that like never panned out, and now we just talk about it like he's almost like a meme. It's kind of sad. He's like a meme.
It's so sad.
Like, but like, what a name to throw out there, though. Freddie Adu is just, that's an all-timer right there. I wanted to find the jersey so bad. I wanted to show that it's too small. I wouldn't be able to put it on. I'd look ridiculous, but I wanted to at least show it. I couldn't find it, but dude, what a fucking legend.
That would have been a beautiful casing for the show, that we have one of the most random athletes and you have their jersey. Like, that's very rare. Like that would be like if I had I don't know,
a Lastings Millage jersey,
a Lastings Millage jersey, and be like, dude, why? That's kind of like with this, but with him it was a little different because he was a child phenom. Like, This dude was supposed to, not even just for America, like for soccer as a sport as a whole, was supposed to be a guy who took the world by storm, and he took it by like a cloud, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it was not very good.
Yep.
And it's honestly pretty sad because obviously, you know, we want to see Americans have the most success possible, but he's a big stain on soccer as a whole, which sucks.
Yep.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think a big thing with him was he was a child prodigy, and he always thought like a child prodigy. So when he went overseas to these clubs, he acted like a diva and got in arguments with managers. Like it was never great, but that's an all-time pick. I told you Lasting's Millage and Freddie Adu were like, when you texted me those I was like, yo, those are incredible.
I had to throw him in.
Last pick, Tyke Redmond.
Personal favorite.
Tyke Redmond. So this was literally just the name by itself. He had some good seasons. He actually batted over 330 twice in his career. For 2 seasons. I think one of them was like his rookie year in the MLB, so you can't really count that because he didn't have that many at-bats. But Tyke Redmond, just the name, it reminds me of the Pirates being terrible, and it's just a random-ass name. So this was an all-timer, just throwing Tyke Redmond out here. Just an all-time random player. And not only that, like you look at the jersey, this was a bad time for the Pirates because I hated when they brought the red into their uniforms. It's so bad. I don't know why. Like what goes through their fucking heads thinking that putting red on this was like a good idea?
No joke. I remember like as a kid, I went to plenty of games because it was like I mean, they practically paid you to come see the team, so it was dirt fucking cheap. But I remember going. And he was one of the first names I remember because I was like, oh, that's a cool name. And I actually think I saw him play in these jerseys. It might have been that fucking game for all I know. I mean, I remember that. And I remember thinking like so bad, like I want to meet this guy. And I don't know why. I just got obsessed like that game. I was probably, I don't know, maybe 7 years old, whatever. And I remember when he was on deck, right? He was about to go hit. I yelled, Tyke Redmond! Hello, Tyke Redmond! And dude he didn't like fully turn around, but he went like this, right? He gave me a little wave, and I knew that was for me because nobody else was yelling for Tyke fucking Redmond. So like I knew like he was yelling for me, but that dude, like he will always stick in my head as just like the Pirates have so many great randoms throughout.
Get there in a sec. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Just the name Tyke. The first name Tyke. All-timer. I mean, come on. Like, it doesn't get much better than that. Like, if you're talking about
is Tyke short for Tykel? Or what do you think that's short?
I think they just got confused while trying to spell Kyle. Yeah, but
Tyke, is it maybe? Oh, I can't say that.
No, I probably shouldn't.
Never mind.
But nah, man, Tyke Redmond, like. Whenever we used to do this, this is one of those names that it just fits you sitting around with your boys just fucking firing off random athletes. Yeah. Like Tyke Redmond is a random ass athlete.
Hey, maybe Tyke is short for Tesbian. You know?
Short. What?
Maybe it's another name for a Tesbian.
Is this what's gonna get the show canceled? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, Tyke Redmond, definitely just what a ridiculous. I don't know. Again,
who's like what mom? I mean, and I know there's some crazy names out there, but who's gonna look at their baby and be like, oh, this is my little boy Tyke? You know what I mean? Like it's like almost aggressive to a point. Like, oh, there's baby Tyke. You know, like that's a bit much.
Yeah. All right. So, instead of honorable mentions, so we threw in just to keep with, I think, the structure of the show, we wanted to have some top picks. But what me and Benny are going to do now, in lieu of honorable mentions, is we're just gonna throw it back to what exactly A, that tweet is about, and B, what we used to do back in high school. So we're gonna do a rapid fire. No pictures, nothing else, just us exchanging names back and forth. Benny, if you have something to add, go ahead. If I have something to add, I'll go ahead and interject.
Please do. It doesn't have to be super quick, but just like we're gonna be giving you names right here.
Yep. So, Benny, let's start with you.
Peyton Hillis.
Rod Barajas.
Jeremy Burnett.
Oh, dude, what a fucking bum. Coco Crisp.
Paul Posluszny. Penn State.
Penn State. Pokey Reese.
Pokey Reese. Hey, this one's for Tyler Graham. Chris Ivory.
Oh, yeah. Chris Hoke.
Oh, my God. Mike Logan, also former Steeler.
All right. Daniel McCutcheon.
Doug and the other one, Minkiewicz. The Minkiewicz brothers.
Oh, my God. Clint Barmas.
Ruslan Fedotenko.
Matt Diaz.
Tommy Maddox.
Ronnie Paulino.
Matt Leinart.
John David Booty.
Matt Stairs.
Nate McLeod.
Oh my God. Jack or Craig Wilson. Either one.
Oh my God. Sage Rosenthal.
Oh my God. It's Sage Rosenfels.
Oh,
I'm going to correct you there. Sage Rosenfels.
Okay. Yeah, it is Sage Rosenfels, yeah.
Ooh, dude, there's so many backup quarterbacks I could think of. I did throw a couple out at you earlier. Let's go with I'm going to say Taj Boyd.
Oh, okay. Okay. Byron Leftwich.
Brian Scalabrine.
Najee Davenport.
Oh my God, real quick story about Najee Davenport that I have to tell. Okay, this is one of my favorites of all time. When Najee was playing, I think either for Green Bay or it was right after he got released by Green Bay, he had an altercation with his ex or whatever, and he was like 3 states away. And he was high, and he drove overnight. This is in the offseason. Drove overnight to her house, broke in, and pooped in her laundry basket, and left. He didn't steal anything. He didn't deface anything else. He just pooped in her laundry basket and left. And I remember the interview with her. Like, they were like, "So, ma'am, explain what happened." She was like, "Well, my ex, he came over and he defecated in my laundry basket, and I had laundry in there." He just did that. He took like a 7-hour trip there and then back just to poop in her laundry basket. Look up the story. I know this sounds like I'm bullshitting you, and I don't blame you for thinking that, but I promise you, look it up. It's real.
Oh my God. Okay, you're up. You're up.
But I guess it is my turn, huh? Ooh. Let me think. Why am I forgetting his name? Oh my God, dude, this is gonna kill me. Cortland Finnegan.
Yeah. Jose Mesa.
Jose Mesa. Oh my
Joe
God.
Table.
I gotta think. Oh my God, what was that guy's name? Oh, Sergei Ponikarovsky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Ponky.
Oh, damn. Josh Fogg. Josh Fogg,
the reliever. Ooh, I'll hit you right there. Same rotation. Zach Duke.
Ooh. Ian Snell.
Oh my God, we're just naming pirate breakers at this point. Ooh, dude, I know I have better. Ooh, Dontrell Willis.
Pirates All-Star Evan Meek.
Evan Meek. Jason Bay, great random.
Uh,
All right, I gotta move away from baseball.
so this is another baseball one, not a Pirates one though. Stubby Clapp.
That's not a real name.
It is, dude. He was like a second baseman or a shortstop for like the Cards or something like that.
Like Stubby Clapp. That's his name, Stubby Clapp.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude! I had one. Oh, former defensive back for the Packers and Chargers, Atari Bigby.
Oh yeah, that's a good. That's a good one. Oh my god. Arsenal. Andre Arshavin.
Takeo Spikes.
Oh fuck. What was his name? Oh my god, I had it.
Oh, dude, now I have a theme in my head right now.
Oh, well, this guy's actually been on the show. Colt Brennan. Hawaii quarterback.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's dead now. R.I.P. But former kicker for the Giants, Scott Player.
Pirates pitcher Brad Lincoln.
Oh my god. Steelers kicker Chris Gardocki. He was a punter, my bad.
Eric Hinsky.
Oh my god, dude. You were Blue Jays guy, right? Eric Hinsky? And he played for us for
He played on the Pirates, but I think he might have come from like the Expos, like back when they were a thing. I could be wrong.
He was somewhere like that. Lyle Overbay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Aubrey Huff. I'm on one now.
Evan Royster.
Evan Royster. Oh my god. I think it's Justin Fargas. He was a running back for the Raiders. Justin Fargas.
Derek Moy, a Penn State wide receiver.
Oh my god. Let me think.
Chris Benson.
Oh hey, hefty lefty Jared Lorenzen.
Oh yeah. Jared Lorenzen was the truth, though. Jared Lorenzen was a boss.
Was the truth. Steve Breston, Woody High alum. Ryan Mundy, Woody High alum.
Dude, Milton Bradley.
Cubs guy. Yeah. Let me think. James Posey. He was a champion for the Celtics and Heat, actually, but didn't really do shit.
Kevin Correa.
Oh my god. Julio Lugo. Yeah.
Oh my god. Xavier Paul.
Xavier Nady.
Sean Casey.
Dude, hey, shout out to the sheriff or whatever they call him, the mayor. I don't know. I love Sean Casey though. He was good stuff. Dimitri Young. He was like the only guy hitting a ball that was fatter than Big Poppy. Like he was a fat son of a bitch. Brandon Inge.
Yeah.
Dude, baseball's got so many good ones.
Yeah, baseball is like the best. Baseball is definitely the best the best sport to pick from because there are so many ridiculous names.
Oh, dude, I got one right now. One of my favorite names to ever throw out that I can't believe I let go this far without saying them. Former Browns and Seahawks wide receiver Joe Jurevicius. Oh, dude.
All right, dude, we gotta cut it off.
Listen, because we're taking up future episodes with this. So, but thank you all for tuning in to this just shit show of random players' names. So, and if any of you are watching, I was gonna apologize, but honestly, be honored anybody's talking about you. Okay, and that's just kind of where we stand. But man, this is one of my favorites, and I know like we kick around a lot of like we need to do sequels of an episode. We really we got to do more of this.
Oh yeah,
we have to.
Oh yeah, no, this one was. It's a universal thing, you know, because it's not really about the jersey; it's about the player names. And like, dude, if anyone out there sees this, go to the bar with your buddy this weekend and just start naming players.
Just name them.
Yeah. Because like obviously me and Ben we were very Pittsburgh heavy, but like if anyone out there is not from Pittsburgh and you have your, it's one of the fun. I don't know why it's so fun. I can't put it into words why it's fun. It just is.
There's nothing I can say. I could speak for 3 hours and you will not understand the depth of how fun it really is, because you can't explain it. You can't put it into words. It's indescribable, but just do it. Try it out and let us know what you think. If anything, actually shoot thoughts from the bench, some DMs of random players that you thought of, because we might get a laugh out of it. So, I mean, go ahead and, you know, join the fun, have that conversation with your friends, bring this up. You know what I mean? This is, see, we're all about being inclusive. You know, we want everybody to get back together. You know, hey, we're back in COVID on its heels. Okay. So people are allowed to get together and we're going to be talking about random athletes, because that's just what guys do.
Yeah. We gotta end it on that note though, because this has just been one of the funnest times I've had doing this show. So
absolutely, dude, hands down.
So
and hey, next week, real quick, next Thursday, or this upcoming Thursday, which will be August the 12th, your boy will be the guest host of Two Beers Deep. So tune in. On Twitch, Derek is on vacation. I got called up to the big leagues, and I'm going to be sitting in studio for Two Beers Deep next week. So, cheers to that.
Hell yeah! No, that's awesome. That I love going on Two Beers Deep. Like,
it's so fun. And honestly, okay, well, I was going to ask why it's so fun. It's so fun because we love it. We love our company, but it's an indescribably good time. Kind of like this. Doesn't even make a whole lot of sense, but we fucking love doing it. So catch us there. But everybody, thank you again for tuning in. Smalls, thank you for making this a topic this week. This is what we needed.
Yep.
And be a friend, tell a friend, like, subscribe, and you know, if you like the vault, maybe somebody else will, or maybe they'll at least have some random ass person that they have in mind, and we can shoot the shit with them.
Yep. All right, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in. This has been the Vault Weekly Show, where we take a look back at some of the best and worst jerseys in sports. We did names tonight, random ass players, one of the best. I don't want to plug it because I don't want to say it out loud. I've talked to Benny about it, and I don't want it to not be a thing, but we potentially have a big guest coming up. Potentially.
And we're not announcing yet because
potentially
this is just in the works. But our first, I think you can arguably say, celebrity on the show to a point.
Yeah. Yep.
So big stuff coming soon. So please, everybody, you know, stay tuned, stay in touch, because we got some big things coming.
Yep. Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys. Benny, cheers, buddy. It's been a good one.
Cheers, brother.